Have you ever heard of Compaq? If you were around in the 80s and 90s, that question would sound ridiculous. Compaq wasn't just a computer company, it was the computer company. A titan of the industry, a household name that once stood shoulder to shoulder with giants like IBM. They went from zero to $1 billion in revenue faster than any company in American history. And then, just as quickly as they rose, they vanished. What happened? How did a company that defined an era of personal computing end up as a ghost in the machine? This is the story of the spectacular rise and devastating fall of Compaq. Our story begins in 1981 at a Texas pie shop. 3 senior managers from Texas Instruments, Rod Kenyon, Jim Harris, and Bill Murto, sketched out an idea on the back of a placemat. Their idea was simple but revolutionary: to build a portable computer that was fully compatible with the brand new IBM PC. At the time, IBM was the undisputed king. Their PC set the standard, but it was a big, clunky desktop machine. The market was full of portable computers, but none of them could run all the software made for the IBM PC. This was the key. Compatibility was everything. In 1982, they founded Compaq Computer Corporation. The name itself was a mashup of compatibility and quality. They reverse-engineered the IBM PC's BIOS, a legally tricky but brilliant move that allowed their machines to run IBM software flawlessly. In 1983, they launched their first product, the Compaq Portable. This thing was a beast, weighing 28 pounds. We'd call it a luggable today, but it was a game changer. It was a self-contained computer with a built-in monitor that you could actually carry around. It was an instant blockbuster. In its first year, Compaq sold over 53,000 units, generating $111 million in revenue. It was the most successful first year in the history of American business. Compaq didn't just get lucky, they were smart. They built a reputation for high-quality, powerful machines that were often faster and more innovative than IBM's own offerings. They created a strong network of dealers instead of selling directly, which allowed them to scale rapidly across the country. Throughout the 80s, Compaq was on a roll. They were the first to introduce a 386-based PC, beating IBM to the punch and solidifying their position as a technology leader, not just a clone maker. By 1987, just 5 years after they started, they hit $1 billion in annual sales. By the early 90s, they had surpassed IBM to become the largest supplier of PCs in the world. They were on top of the world. The Compaq logo was everywhere. They were the symbol of the personal computer revolution. But the tech industry is relentless. The very market Compaq helped create was starting to change. The 90s saw the rise of new, aggressive competitors like Dell and Gateway. These companies had a different business model. Dell, in particular, pioneered the direct-to-consumer approach. They cut out the middleman, the dealers that Compaq relied on, and sold directly to customers over the phone and later, the Internet. This meant they had lower overhead, could offer lower prices, and build computers to order. Suddenly, Compaq's high-quality, premium-priced machines started to look expensive. The market was shifting from performance and features to price. PCs were becoming a commodity. Compaq was caught in a classic innovator's dilemma. Their entire business was built on selling premium products through a dealer network. To compete with Dell on price, they would have to cannibalize their own high-margin business and alienate their loyal dealers. They were slow to react. In 1991, For the first time in its history, Compaq posted a quarterly loss and had to lay off 1,400 employees. The board ousted co-founder Rod Canyon and brought in a new CEO, Eckhard Pfeiffer, a marketing guy known for his aggressive style. Pfeiffer's strategy was bold: fight fire with fire. He slashed prices across the board and launched new, lower-cost consumer lines like the Presario. For a while, the strategy worked. Sales soared. Compaq reclaimed its spot as the #1 PC maker. They expanded aggressively, acquiring other companies like Tandem Computers and, most significantly, Digital Equipment Corporation, or DEC, for a whopping $9.6 billion in 1998. The DEC acquisition was meant to transform Compaq from just a PC maker into a full-service enterprise company that could compete with IBM and HP across the board, from servers to services, but it was a disaster. Integrating DEC, a company with a completely different culture and product line, proved to be incredibly difficult and expensive. Instead of strengthening Compaq, the acquisition bogged them down in debt and complexity. While Compaq was struggling with its identity crisis, the PC market continued to evolve at lightning speed. Dell's direct model was more efficient than ever, and they were eating Compaq's lunch in the corporate market. The dot-com bubble burst in 2000, causing a huge slump in tech spending. Compaq was bleeding money. Its stock price plummeted. The company that had once been the darling of Wall Street was now seen as a lumbering giant, unable to adapt. The board panicked. In 1999, Pfeiffer was fired. Another CEO, Michael Capellas, was brought in to try and turn things around, but the damage was done. The company was in a death spiral. By 2001, it was clear that Compaq could not survive on its own. The solution was as shocking as it was controversial: a merger with its longtime rival, Hewlett-Packard. The deal, announced in September 2001, was valued at $25 billion and was championed by HP's then CEO, Carly Fiorina. She argued that combining the two companies would create a technology powerhouse capable of taking on anyone, especially IBM. But the merger was incredibly contentious. Many on Wall Street, and even within HP's own board, including the son of its founder, Walter Hewlett, fought against it. They argued that HP was tying itself to Compaq's low-margin, struggling PC business. After a bitter and public proxy battle, the deal was narrowly approved in 2002, and just like that, Compaq, the independent company, ceased to exist. The Compaq name lived on for a while as a brand on some of HP's lower-end PCs, but its spirit was gone. The innovative, aggressive, market-defining company that started in a Texas pie shop had been absorbed by its competitor. The merger itself is now widely seen as one of the worst in corporate history. It led to massive layoffs, years of internal turmoil at HP, and ultimately, the firing of Carly Fiorina herself. So what's the lesson from Compaq's story? It's a powerful reminder that in the world of technology, success is never permanent. Compaq wasn't defeated by a single mistake, but by a series of them. They failed to adapt to a changing market. They made a disastrously large acquisition, and they lost the innovative edge that made them great in the first place. They went from being the hunter to the hunted. It's a classic tale of a titan that grew too big and too slow, and was ultimately consumed by the very revolution it helped start. The next time you see an old Compaq logo, remember the incredible story behind it, a story of ambition, innovation, and a fall from grace that shook the entire tech world. Thanks for watching. If you found this story interesting, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the history of technology. See you in the next one.